Is there anything you can do to help him?
Not right now, no. And it's really something they're just going to have to deal with. If it was a longer race, 400-lap race or something, you might want to think about a way to try to fix it. It's probably, some kind of circuit there, circuit breaker popped, something that's causing that. But he'll just have to deal with it.
All right, we're coming down with the pace car pulling on to pit road. In the front row, it's all Joe Gibbs Racing. Joey Logano, Kyle Busch, followed by Carl Edwards, Brad Keselowski. And as they come out of turn 4, the fans in the stands here at Dover are coming to their feet. And the Nationwide Series from the Monster Mile is green. Way back in the back of the field. Up front, it's Joey Logano with Kyle Busch right behind him, along with Carl Edwards.
Yeah, we heard Joey Logano say after he won the pole, he was trying to decide whether to take that inside or outside on the start of this race, and he showed that the inside was the way to go.
Paul Menard has Reed Sorensen right on his right side as you look on from Trevor Bayne's point of view. Sorensen still able to hold on to that spot. Now pulls in front, takes over the position. Put him up into 5th.
There's one thing you can see here is what we've been talking about. They just had 2 cup practices. This racetrack is really rubbered in. Goodyear has a great tire here, but it is going to be a different racetrack than what these guys were on yesterday because there wasn't this much rubber down.
DJ, the one thing I'm noticing, this is the same thing we saw during qualifying. Joey was able to hug the bottom. Kyle was a little further up.
Yeah, and Kyle, you can look at that and think that, okay, Kyle may be taking care of his car a little bit more, being able to keep the RPMs up a little bit. So just the 2 different lines that you can use, but that would be taking care of that right front tire a little bit more where Kyle Busch is running. Same place we kind of see Michael Annett running a little higher.
Yeah, Ryan Newman gets around Annett. Meanwhile, look at this. The 18's got a run on Joey.
Yeah, Kyle's using this to his advantage. He was definitely making some headway through the middle of the corner and running faster, and that momentum just carries him down the straightaway.
Hasn't cleared him yet. They go through 1 and 2. He's got him clear now, so we've had our first lead change.
Yeah, I think that's what's a thing that makes Kyle Busch so good, especially in these cars. He knows best of where his car can keep the momentum, and he can make the most out of it, and he searches around and finds that. This is what he found in practice for his car.
Let's move back a little bit further in the pack. There is Kevin Harvick on the inside of Justin Allgaier, and that is for 8th position.
See, Kevin wanted to get that inside and try to make a run, but you have to be really careful here. Slide up into the guy that outside, or you'll get really loose down on the bottom.
Let me update you. We've got 3 that have already parked at Jeff Green, Dennis Setzer, and Brian Keselowski.
See Harvick trying to make that run again on Allgaier. Gets right to his bumper there. Maybe a little tap.
Speaking of Kevin tapping in final practice for Sprint Cup tomorrow, he and Denny Hamlin had some issues. We'll see more about it on NASCAR Now.
See, Kevin just not able to carry that momentum out of the corner. You just can't get all the throttle that you need to make that pass complete because you need that racetrack.
Oh, he's working him over there.
Yeah, he's letting him know he wants the spot. Stephen Wallace is watching right behind.
You can see, yeah, he followed Allgaier in a little more that time instead of going below him, and he actually got Justin Allgaier a little bit loose, and now is able to complete the pass.
And Stephen Wallace looks like he's going to try and take advantage of it, maybe carry Jason Leffler with him, as well as Ryan Newman.
Well, if Stephen was paying attention, he'll follow the 12 car down into the corner here. He's already loose, and he could help that issue.
Newman's going to try on the high side, not going to have any success on the 38. Looking back a little further in the field, there's Danica Patrick. Started 42nd. She's moved up to 35th. Back up front, we've still got Kyle Busch with Joey Logano leading by about 0.7 of a second. It's Carl Edwards, Brad Keselowski, and Reed Sorensen. And there they are coming into your screen here at the NASCAR Nationwide Series race at Dover, presented by CC's. Make sure to go to Goodyear.com to check out Goodyear Support Our Troops program. There you can send a thank you message from a NASCAR driver. Enter for a chance to win a 2011 Ford Taurus and other great prizes. During the commercial break, you can see Kyle Busch is managing to cut his way through the field. He has put down a lap. Danny O'Quinn, Kenny Wallace, Mark Green, Eric McClure, Danica Patrick, and now Michael McDowell. Johnny Chapman is the 4th car behind the wall. On board with Danica as she is getting passed now by Carl Edwards, who has moved past Joey Logano for 2nd. Jamie Little.
Well, you saw Danica Patrick just went 1 lap down. I talked to Tony Uri Jr., crew chief, this morning, and he said, we expect her to go at least 4 laps down here. He said that's normal for a rookie. Even though Danica doesn't want to hear it, that is what they're expecting. She just needs to ride around, learn the track, and get comfortable. The one thing they want Danica to learn, though, is how to run low on the track right above the apron. She's not sure of where her car is yet. She's still about 5 feet too high, and that's where she's really getting beat in these corners, guys.
Well, this time she's down a little bit lower from the onboard perspective.
Yeah, there's an art to doing that, too, and that's what makes it difficult, something you don't just pick up, because you can say, okay, run around the bottom, but as you power up and try to come out of the corner, most of the time, you're going to find your car really pushing, then you're going to have to lift out of the throttle, so there's a lot of work in trying to do that.
Now, if you're wondering what's happening to Justin Allgaier, he's dropped from 7th, his starting position, down to 14th, and we can show you what one of his problems is.
Well, this thing's driving evil. You can see right here, man, almost crashed the car. Stephen Wallace passes him.
He did. He just didn't hit anything.
That's the view from on board Stephen Wallace. Vince?
Come on. Good job. Good job. Keep coming.
The amazing thing about Justin Allgaier is his crew chief, Chad Walter, said he thought this was the best 12 car they'd ever had here at Dover. But right away, Justin was on the radio saying it's really tight in, no side bite, and loose off. And reminding him, try to drive it out the front window and not be focused on those mirrors because they were stacking up behind him. Got to believe that's a little easier said than done, but he definitely has his hands full early.
Other than those 3 issues, the car's running great.
I'll tell you, the car really looks, twitchy, loose. You see it very unpredictable.
And you can see the throttle. He's just really having to work the throttle. He's not able to get because of how loose it is there. And that could be coming from having a lot of wheel in it because of the tightness. But he just can't give it any gas and create any speed.
I can tell you now that David Gilliland has also pulled off the course, as well as Josh Wise. So now a total of 6 cars behind the wall, and Brian Keselowski is officially out of the race. All right, let's take a look from high above. There is the race leader, Kyle Busch. 2 seconds behind is Carl Edwards, and there is Carl with some lap traffic. And then another second or so back is Joey Logano with Brad Keselowski and Reed Sorensen rounding out the top 5. So we're working lap number 24 of 200 here at the Nationwide Series race at Dover, presented by CC's Pizza. Top of the hour here at Dover, and we welcome everybody back to Dover International Speedway. Our race leader is Kyle Busch, the 6th straight Dover race that he has led. Points leader Brad Keselowski is running 4th. Danica Patrick has moved up 10 spots to 32nd, although she is a lap down. And of course, Kyle Busch, the race leader, as he's slicing and dicing through this field, 1 win away from setting a single season win mark. His lead over Carl Edwards is 2.2 seconds. Joey Logano is a full second behind Carl. Let's get an update from pit road. Dr. Jerry Punch.
We mentioned Carl's got a brand new crew chief here, Mike Bean, your veteran that's been doing the R&D for Roush Fenway, taking over on the pit box. And Carl himself is having an issue as far as communication is concerned. Let's listen in.
Yeah, it's real noisy. I can't understand the times. Just saying, if you've got one of those, those pieces that cover your mouth, that would help out a lot if you can find one.
Well, Mike is up on the pit box, and a moment ago, Carl was trying to hear Mike talk on the radio. Now, what Mike has been doing since then is covering his mouth sometimes when he talks, shielding that microphone that comes off the headset, which makes it a little bit easier for Carl to hear the lap times as they come by. So just a momentary issue seems to be resolved.
Mike Beam won a truck race here in 2006 with Mark Martin behind the wheel, and a cup race with Bill Elliott all the way back in 1990.
Yeah, and it makes it so difficult here because especially when these cars get strung out like they are now, there's no break. So it's not like you can wait till there's a gap and try to talk to your driver, and it makes it so difficult. A lot of crew chiefs, Andy, I think went to wearing a kind of a cup over their mouth and their microphone to help that.
Yeah, the noise factor, and this is one of the worst tracks for it. It's just so hard, you know, to get that outside, that background noise out of your radios, and it's even hard to communicate with the crew down there, trying to talk about what you're going to do the next pit stop. It's just, you know, it really is a difficult environment. But they do make a thing that you can, you know, like you say, I guess jet fighters used to use them to be able to muffle that outside noise.
Let's give Drew Herring a tip of the hat. Started 41st in a backup car. This car has not even turned a lap. They didn't have anything ready for this piece. And he got in the wall in qualifying, comes back, and right now has picked up 13 spots up to 28th position. Youth is doing well.
Yeah, he's doing a nice job. He laid down a pretty decent lap in qualifying, but had a problem there on his second lap, unfortunately for him. Dave?
And DJ, the junior engineering major from NC State, will first of all be glad to know that his football team won today, but also the car just a little tight from the center off. That's a pretty decent report considering everything you guys just talked about. Now, I did talk to the crew right beforehand. They made some creature comfort adjustments for him in there. He already had his seat mounted in the backup car, but that was about it. They had to adjust some pedals and things to get him just right. Looks like he's comfortable so far.
And Herring finished 15th in his Nationwide Series debut back at Iowa in August. Checking in on another battle, Trevor Baines got his hands full with Stephen Wallace. That is for 8th position.
Yeah, he really does have his hands full. I've watched him the last couple of laps. See Stephen trying to go to the inside off of turn 2 right now. He's tried this a couple of times, and they keep running in on some lap traffic. It's kept him from making this pass. Stephen Wallace having a good day here at Dover.
Jason Leffler right behind him, along with Ryan Newman.
Yeah, Ryan Newman and Jason Leffler have been duking it out the same way here from the start of the race. And looks like Leffler's got a pretty good car. Kind of reeled these guys in a little bit.
They're going around Mark Davis. Mark is a lap down right now in the 23 in 28th position. Look out, don't rib those tires too much. Here comes Leffler underneath Davis as well.
And you can see how it's easy for someone behind you to close in. You catch a car, what you would call at the wrong spot, like coming off the corner where it has to kind of hold you down. You can't get wide open, so it lets that car close in. But Jason Leffler doing a nice job, Dave.
And DJ, right now, his early report on the car that he just had no front grip, but he had a great battle with Ryan Newman earlier, disposed of him, and now, like you say, is chasing down the guys in front of him.
And this battle sort of strung out for the moment, although here comes the 66 again, trying to take another look.
It looks like Trevor Baines having a hard time whenever they're not in traffic, holding his car down some. That's leaving that bottom lane open for Steven. He tries to get in a little harder there, see if he can get up beside him and keep this run off the corner.
Steven making his 150th Nationwide Series start, still looking for win number 1. Could it come today? Everybody's going to have to, as we mentioned at the beginning of the broadcast, you're going to have to go through Gibbs Racing up front with Kyle Busch still leading. He has now led 38 laps as this battle keeps going. It's one of the best we have on track. 3 cars. This is the closest battle between 3. Let's check in now with Kevin Harvick. And that's Eric Darnell, as Darnell has also moved up quite a few spots, 14 positions. He's up into 22nd, although he is a lap down. But Harvick's closing in now on Reed Sorensen.
Yeah, I've been watching him, too, as he's closed in on Reed Sorensen for this battle. Running a little different line than some others as we go back, see Stephen Wallace still trying to get around Trevor Baines.
Sort of like a soap opera. It never ends.
Well, it's just so hard to make that pass, especially on the bottom side. I'd like to see Steve if he's tried the outside end. Of course, you don't want to open up and let Jason Leffler there and lose a spot either, but sometimes you might have to try that outside, get on the right rear quarter panel of that, like the 99 there, and he could slow him down quite a bit and then maybe get around him.
Check in on race leader. That's Kyle Busch, and he's coming up on Elliott Sadler, and Sadler going to go a lap down. That means just 17 on the